Hello everyone, this is Michael for Spirit Comics. Welcome to New Comic Book May Day 2020, Day 23. Now if you're new here, do all those YouTube things that you need to do. Subscribe, click the notification bell so you don't miss any new uploads. Also, if you enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up, please, and share it with those who might enjoy it. Don't forget to comment. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed. I'm at 193 subscribers and striving toward 200. Also, thank you to those who do comment. I am very appreciative. I make these reviews so that you might know about something you've never heard about before. Alright, New Comic Book May is something I'm doing in place of Free Comic Book Day 2020 because it was postponed. So each day I'm reviewing a comic book that was released on Free Comic Book Day 2019 or older. However, since I only have one Free Comic Book Day book in my possession left to review, I'm going to review some Alterna Comics. So I'm starting with Feast or Famine #1, came out in 2018, written by Dave Swartz. Now, this is #1 in a 3-issue limited series. Costs $1.50, very affordable. This was an interesting read. I had to, turn a few pages back every now and then to check some stuff. But it wasn't boring. There's a lot of exposition in here, but that's for world building because this is a whole new world. A whole new world. I heard that somewhere a long time ago. This is a mixture of history and science fiction. Now, the cover, it does make you think that something badass is going to happen in here. But no. It's just a badass cover. We open up. We see a dude who appears to be lying on some glacier, but because of the text, I'm led to believe it's, more like a dream. And he's possibly having a nightmare. Excuse me. And then over the page we see a dude, the same dude, in a laboratory. And it's a nice 2-page spread, I have to say. And he says, "I've found it." So he's found something. It looks very old, wouldn't you say? Samuel Edison II Exploratory Lab 6 years earlier. Okay. So now we have an idea of what this is going to be about. Feast or Famine, Issue 1, The Discovery. Writer, Dave Swartz. Pencils and ink, Joseph Cooper. Letters, Wes Locker. So I am not going to read all this dialogue because I want you to go out and get the comic or go to alternaaccess.com and get the comic for yourself. But I'll just basically tell you what the situation is. That is Nikola Tesla, Teska, as he's portrayed in this story. And this is a dude by the name of Edison that he works for. This is the year 1880, something called the Futurist Expo. Now, Tesla is introducing a new invention to Edison. He speaks into this microphone and then plays it back. Edison hears a recording. So it's the phonograph. So over here, during the Futurist Expo in 1880, Edison claims that the phonograph is his. He does the very same. The future is Edison. And then he plays it back. Everybody's astounded. And they clap. They're amazed. Then, after he's off stage, Tesla confronts Edison. Hey, why did you claim that it was your invention? He says he's basically summarizing it because you work for me. You know, your brain, your accomplishments, everything you do while you work for me is my property. He says, you are mine, Tesla. Not anymore. So he walks out. And this is present day. This is something called Tachyon Labs. Interesting. And he's running. I'm not sure where he's going, but if you notice here, this Tachyon Labs. See, previously we were in 1880. This says established 1898. So this is 18 years later. So he's running to get some information, but then we go back in time again to the Futurist Expo a year later, 1881. This time, Tesla introduces something that could power a whole city for, he says across whole cities for, years, I think. And this is actually an invention that I remember hearing about. However, I think Nikola Tesla didn't have the money, so he couldn't continue this endeavor. So this is basically a what if story if he had the backing. But Edison comes in saying, it's not really safe. Nobody would want this in their homes. And he starts to introduce his all new Edison Electric Company. And he starts to activate it and then electrocutes himself. So there's Edison. And backstage, this person is J.B. Morgan. I've heard that name before. He basically is trying to get Tesla to work for him. Tesla is repulsed that the moment a man dies, he's trying to get him to work for him because Edison was his employee. So he needs to replace his investment. He says no. He won't do it. Then back in his dressing room is a man by the name of Anthony Carnegie. I looked him up. That's a real person. The name is just spelled a little bit different. He's a philanthropist. I can never say that word right, but you know what I'm talking about. And he sees potential in Tesca. So he lets Tesca continue his experiments. Then he receives a signal from space which he thinks might be intelligent life. So they go to this board to ask for more funding, and they get it with Mr. Carnegie's help. Now, let's see, there was one little part that did stand out to me. Let me see here. Maybe it was the page back. No, not that page. It was... Wait a minute. Here it is. All right. Now this is what I call I think it would be embellishing. Now I do not know when the first satellite was made or launched. I'll give you that much. But this setting is currently 1881. You know, it's not yet 1900. And Tesca says here, I've checked all the satellite data. Okay, satellite data. Did somebody have a satellite in orbit at this time in the late 1800s? I don't know, but I find that to be very very interesting. That did stand out at me. So, anyways, they continue their research, and this is Tachyon Labs, year 1. That's it says 1886. So they've developed something along the lines of a transporter. You know, just no Scotty involved, and they keep trying to send these little orbs to a distant star to get information. And they tried 11 times, but nothing worked. So they walk, as you can see, they're walking away. They're sort of sad. And this is just outside Colorado Springs. Now they're on a train, and Tesca says he didn't. I think it was Tesca. Says he didn't factor time into the equation, or maybe it was his assistant. I can't remember. So they try again. They go to the transporter. They send a little orb to a location. Comes back. However, Tesca decides, we need to try it ourselves to see what we can find, even though that his assistant, who's called Stein, interesting, found that there was nothing, that the conditions, that's the word I was thinking of, conditions weren't hospitable for humans. But Tesca's like, we gotta take this chance. Now, I do find it very interesting how the design of their transporter looks very similar to the Stargate. You know, those of you who have ever watched Stargate SG-1, you know what I'm talking about. See? See the structure here in the green liquid in the middle? Now you can go to alternaaccess.com, and I think you can still order Feast or Famine #1. I will leave the link down in the description. And you can find other cool comic books at alternaaccess.com that you might want to check out. You never know. I enjoyed this story. There was a lot of exposition, but like I said, that was necessary for world building. And this is an interesting world indeed. I like that there's a mixture of history with science fiction. I think that's very bright. I will be reviewing issue 2 soon. Thank you for joining me today, or whenever you join me. I am Michael for Spirit Comics. Till next time, true readers, may all your news be good news.